hoping to make another good day for betting here. Keith, you had a great day yesterday, but before we get into that, talk a little bit about how that track played out yesterday. Did it seem pretty fair to you?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of a speed lane on the main track. You had to be fairly close. We didn't really have anybody make any big sustained runs. Neuschenstein made a run that four wide bid around the quarter pole. A little bit of a fizzle late. That was the race in high value. A really impressive firster for Brittany Russell and Rapoli and Company. Got it done at 760. Kind of ran off the screen there
Yes.
late. I think Turf's still playing pretty fair for the most part. And yeah, gotta have all those. Angles and information right there at your fingertips today, because we've got that Champions Handicapping Tournament going on. So a lot of different license plates, different states representing today here at Laurel Park coming in. But yeah, we've got a main track that's fast, turf course is firm. Beautiful day again. Temperature, what, in the mid-70s?
And of course, if this is your first time watching the show, welcome to Today at the Races. Keith Fustel next to me. And of course, as Keith mentioned, welcome to all those who are coming in for that handicapping tournament that we have going on all day today. And let's kick things off. We have some stakes action coming up, but let's start talking about that race card here. In race number 1, the starter optional 20, of course, kicks off that early pick 5. Those pools are always pretty much around 20 grand, but let's dive into this a little bit. A mile on the turf, girls 3 and up, scratch number 9, Princess Javancia, and let's talk about your top selection, Red Wind, and let's get right into it. Let's take a look at Red Wind. You've caught this a couple of times with a couple of breaks here for these replays, Keith.
Yeah, a little bit of a hop in the break at the break last time out. Until I said we're gonna watch this one more time. Red Wind, but I tell you, is able to kind of recover and again get a good stalking trip. She's red hot right now. Claudia Gonzalez hasn't run a lot of horses at this meet, but he's hitting at a good clip over the last 60 days. I think overall he's 30%, a lot of that a bit Monmouth, but able to kind of make this move, go to command here in mid-stretch, and she's just loving the Laurel lawn. Going to go clear late by about 2 and some change. Comes back, position to the inside, a little break, another great trip. It looks like to me. You've got Canadian Ginger's going to be everybody's target. She's pretty quick, coming off of 3 straight wins on the turf. For Hugh McMahon. Stretching out, breeding suggests yes, should be able to handle a route of ground. We'll see if she can get it done. She might get some early pressure, maybe around the 3/8 pole. See if she can kind of repel any challenges around that turn and keep going. But I think Red Wind sits a trip. Social engagement, the 4 intrigues me as well, coming in first time for J.K. Sweezy. Some trouble the last couple, little freshening. I think finds a good spot here and drafting over towards the inside to make a run.
Keith Fustel, 1-4-11-3 to kick off our race day here on Saturday. So our last stakes action here for the summer on Saturday. Say that 5 times fast. Race number 2 kicks off the early pick 4. I said it yesterday, and he didn't kind of go into it because this guy next to me doesn't want to oversell and underpromise, but hit the early pick 4 yesterday. Keith, give us your possible winning ticket here today.
Wasn't anything huge, but we'll take it. A good profit, $18 ticket, got you back like 105. Hey, it was a winner. We didn't tear it up, so that's a good thing. Yeah, $20 ticket in store today. 2 deep here to get you started. Chelsea Wall. Fool Yourself is not my second selection on my picks, but looking at from a pick 4 angle, I think she's an all or nothing type. So I like Chelsea Wall a lot. I'm going to go 1, 2 in there. A race 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. Dyna Blast, a little shot price in there. I even think Tidewater on a return could be tough. Race 4, 2 deep. With the 3 and the 5. We're going to wrap it up with the 1 and 5 Battalion right back at you real quick. And Hunter Joe stretching out here for Hammy Smith. $20 for the early pick 4. Yeah, we'll try to keep it rolling. Picks were pretty good yesterday. We were around it. We were seeing the ball. Hopefully we see it well again today.
Keith Fusel giving you the winning early pick 4 ticket yesterday. Let's see if he will probably continue on with that success here today as it does kick off in the starter optional 20. A mile on the dirt for the girls 3 and up. Keith, you have the number 1 on top, as you mentioned. Chelsea Wall for Jamie Ness and Jamie Rodriguez are leading so far trainer and rider combination here for the Laurel Summer Meet.
Yeah, my biggest concern here, obviously, riding a 2-race win streak, going to try to make it 3 in a row. The barn going great guns as well as the jockey. Really got a good trip last time. Back shortening up back to the 1 turn 7/8 at Parks. Had a little contested pace. She doesn't have that big kind of a glaring move. She sustains well. I think she might need a little help up top, but I think her consistency to me kind of gives a little bit of an edge. And let's talk about the 2, Fool Yourself. I've got her picked 4th. We talk about I got her in the pick 4 ticket. I don't know really what to make. A flat race off of a break in the Geisha, coming back here. Um, this isn't the greatest angle for Claudio, 2 for 15, over 180 days, going long on the dirt.
Okay.
But man, she's just got some races over this course that kind of catch your eye. So if she's right, she wins. If she's not, she's probably off the board, I would think, in here. So the row's going to go through the 5 #lucky. She had like a public workout last time when that race came off the turf. But I think she might get a little bit more pace pressure in here with the likes of Canoodle stretching out and even Fool Yourself. So get around the 1. Chelsea Well going to be a shorter price here for Jamie Ness and J-Rod.
And there you have it from Keith Fustel in race number 2 to kick off that early pick 4. Race number 3 is a maiden special weight, 6 furlongs on the turf here for the 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. Keith, let's go ahead and take a look at your top selection in Tidewater, and we're going to circle back to last fall here at Laurel Park.
Yeah, I always like these horses, 2 years old, showing a little bit of talent, a decent number. And I thought, all in all, a pretty good field back in debut in October of 22. We're going to pick this one up down inside, just kind of having to sit and rate and wait. Finds a little room, shifts out, and I think finishes up quite well. Brazina, the horse, came back to win an allowance, I believe, next time out at Gulfstream Park. A couple other winners in this field. A stretch out to a 1.8 miles behind a recent allowance type Prowling Tiger next time out before, just not a good try on the dirt. Didn't like that muddy sealed surface. Comes back. We've got first-time gelding, first-time Lasix, blinkers on. A lot of things going on well. A track Sheldon Russell. Barn a little chilly, okay? But we got to get you a win here, Tony Aguirre. Let's get you done. And Tidewater, hopefully to draft in a little bit, measure that speed, and make her run through the stretch. 9-4 Dynablast, kind of a value shot in here. I think even Dan Oman liked this one a little bit. Going first time for Trombetta. They got a recent work over the turf. There's some turf in this family. It intrigues me. This horse looked good on the track, too. When I saw this horse come out and debut, kind of caught my eye. So a little bit more positional speed last time out. I think is going to move up on the turf at a price here today. Windsor Park. Here's a little stat for you. McGahee. Now, lately with the maidens on the turf, it hasn't been strong. He hasn't had a strong record in Maryland. But this little move here, maidens route the sprint on the turf the last couple of years, 3 for 7 and 7 for 7 in the money with an ROI of 441. A couple kind of dull tries at Gulfstream over the synth and the turf, but another one off of a break, kind of getting ready to get it back in order here at Windsor Park. Might be a user in race 3. You won't get a huge price. So there you go.
There we have it. I just stole your stat to use in the afternoon, possibly.
Steal
Keith
away.
Fustel giving us all the goods here on the morning show today at the races here. Race at number 4, that third leg of Keith's beloved early pick 4 that he does so, remember, often hit, guys, is a claiming 40,000, 7 furlongs on the dirt for the girls at 3 and up. Scratch in the 1, the coupled entry of Biogenic Babe. But Keith, you and I still both land on Pogie Bone C for Kieran McGee. Axel Concepcion in the saddle.
Yeah, and gets a little bit of help with that scratch of Biogenic Babe, who I thought would be part of that flow. But Pogie Bonsi, man, kudos to Kieran. He's done a phenomenal job with this horse for Robert Bone and Eddie Brown Jr. This horse ran too good to lose when transitioned to the turf last time. But I think stretching out to the 7's not going to be an issue. She's got really sharp speed. I think she can clear this field, and she'll gut it out to the wire here for Kieran McGee. Really nice job coming off a bullet work for that barn off the claim with Pogie Bonsi.
And there let's talk about your exacta, though. 6-1, on my opinion, morning line for Alan Beddard. Jeremy Laprida coming in for the ride, coming off of, a bit of these upper echelon kind of races. A bit of a lateral move or a bit of a down?
I think it's a slight drop here.
Yep,
I mean, you're coming out of a 2 other than against all multiple winners, the likes of Peyton Elizabeth and everything like that. Race at Saratoga, coming back kind of quick. Well-traveled here.
Yes.
A horse that doesn't get a ton of play ever. You have to go back quite a few races. Will so today. We'll get some play in here. The numbers are just there. Liked her maybe a little bit better if Biogenic Babe would have stayed in to apply maybe a little bit more pressure. But I think against this group turning back in distance, she can lay a little closer around the turn and fire late.
We'll see if she does there in race number 4 as Keith Fustel goes 3-5-1A. Let's go ahead to race number 5 where that kicks off the Rainbow Pick 6. We have a touch of a carryover from yesterday. 4,000. That's going to obviously, of course, be above at 5,000 by the time we get to race number 5. let me give you my simple ticket structure. I'm just, with this weekend, kind of keeping it a little bit on the bare minimum. So 5-7 here with Hunter Joe and Cannon's Roar. Keith, you also have the number 5. Hunter Joe is your top selection. We'll get to that in just a second. But single in race number 6 on the number 10, Box and Ben. I believe I did make a typo on that. I meant the 7, Drowsing Rod, but I will touch on that in a second. But let's keep going on race number 9. That is where I dive in a bit deeper in the Find Stakes. 3, 5, 7, 8. Keith, you and I are going to get there in a second. And race number 8 is the Brandy Stakes, where I have Downtown Katie. You have the girl from Ireland, and then I have those two. And then I also include Coconut Cake, just because you have to. And then 3 deep there in that nightcap. $28.80 ticket. But let's circle back to race number 5.
Coconut cake, Callie. I'll tell you, that was a staple in my family. The recipe, my grandmother, Doc Kaufman, or her husband Cecil, was kind of one of the ones also got me the game of the old ex-jock. Used to ride Native Dancer in the mornings, and then worked up in the press box. Man, that was good. The coconut cake. My mom would unleash it on holidays, so you can't beat that. Great memories there. So yeah, I've always got a soft spot for the horse coconut cake.
Absolutely.
So,
how can you not?
And your tickets are a little bit light. Did you tap out in Vegas? Did you just kind of you spend everything out there?
I'm just feeling the pressure.
Leave it all out on the tables or something.
You know, I'm trying to give a fair price to everybody
all right.
out there.
I'm starting to worry about you.
Nope. The way I just want to work my tickets is I kind of want to give you a bit of a base, and then you kind of take it and add a little bit, because everybody's opinion. I'm open to the fact that everybody's opinion is different.
Okay.
So I'm just going to allow people to kind of, have that structure and then play off of my structure
then
a
add
little
to that.
bit.
You got it. Let's go to the 5th.
Let's do that. That starter optional, 20,000, 8 furlongs on the turf. For the 3-year-olds and up, Keith, you have the number 500 Joe. As I just mentioned, I include this in my ticket as well, and in my exacta for Hammy Smith, Johan Rosado. Hoping for a better trip today, Keith.
Yeah, Hammy, you see that initial sprint, the routes, really good percentage, ROI solid. Not so much on the turf, but I'm still going to take a shot here with Hunter Joe, because I like the company he kept. The 2 back and 3 back tries, very respectable. He got going very late. Really found a stride that last 16th of a mile and kept on well through gallop outs. You look at the family, the mother, Celtic Katie, handled a route of ground on the dirt. I like the position in the middle of the field here with the break. I think has positional speed. I like to see a covered up trip for this one. They kind of carry them that distance first time out, and then only have to run the last quarter of a mile. If he can get that, I think he can fire and be a factor in here. Battalion comes back really, really quick after a grueling kind of a stretch run, was dead game, took the initiative early, was able to kind of get the lead, handle pressure, got headed, came back. This one's very consistent. This is a barn that does well with horses coming back on short rest. Again, I think is on or near the lead against this group, the 2 John G. A couple trouble trips here of recent note, but you've got Sheldon Russell with Tim Keefe. That's always, when he rides for Keefe, pay close attention there. They've hit at a good ROI and a good percentage. 5-1-2-7. Cannon Drawer, it's been a long time. Maybe you can get there today for the win.
And we will be right back after this commercial break for more of Keith's opinions on the rest of Saturday's card. And we're back to start our late pick 5 here in race number 6, which, of course, also includes our jackpot super high 5, 1 through 5. See if you can get that in a row. Keith, I can't wait for the day when you get that. But it does begin here in this maiden claiming 30,000, going 6 furlongs on the dirt for the 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. Scratch in the number 9 Moonset. Keith, you have the number 6 on top, Margie's Fun Son. Let's take a look at Margie's Fun Son. A little bit going on after the start there. If we can take a look at that effort back from the 16th of July.
Yeah, and I was a little upset with this one. 9-1 we had on top, I believe, that day for Georgie and Andrea Dacus. Yeah, the early trouble. You see that steadying right there, heading to the 5/8, and things kind of ramped up around the turn. Dowsing Rod Money Room was able to kind of shift outside. Makes a good progression, staying early on that left lead. Let's see, I don't know if if he switch leads a couple times, but closes in just to miss by a neck. Delegated, I think that was a shorter price. Brittany Russell, I think she beat me twice that day, and I had some prices. But, hey, there it is, levels off late. Goes up off the claim. There's the stat we're going to shoot at you right now. Claudia Gonzalez, last 3 years with maiden claimers in Maryland. Okay, 5 for 16, 31%, 12 for 16 the money. When they go off the claim, it up 50% of that most recent tag. 230, your ROI. I think there's some flow. Moonset does come out, who I think was really going to add to the pace in race number 6, but I think it's going to be honest. That stat kind of put me over the top. An inside-out trip, I hope, is in store with Angel Cruz from Margie's Fun Son.
There we have it, and underneath you have it dowsing Rod, Jerry Robb, Xavier Perez. Like the pattern change in this recent start.
Yeah, it was off just a touch slow, and then kind of got in a position. A couple different runs for this one. Had to alter course and came on well late. Bill of Rights came back to run so-so out of that effort, but it's a late breaking blinkers on announcement for Jerry Robb here in Dowsing Rod. Improving form, was gelded, first time gelding after the break from August 6th to June 17th. Has kind of steadily gotten it together. I think it's a pace factor a long way in the 6th. The 9's this new shooter, Afamato for Bobby Claceris. Another one off the break. Goes second time gelding. That last time going long. The speed chased the honest pace. All the speeds went back. Closers came a rolling in there. I think turning back and fresh offers an okay value here. A little fresh face because I think Box and Ben, 7 to 2 on the line might be a touch lower. I don't completely trust. This is a horse a couple races back. They dropped into 30 off of good runs. That scares me a little bit.
I agree. As I mentioned, I had my single on that horse. I made a typo, so my single is on the 7. As you mentioned, late breaking news with the blinkers on for Dowsing Rod, so I didn't catch that. So thank you, Keith. As he goes 6, 7, 9, 10 there in race number 6. That jackpot super high 5 race. Race number 7 is a starter optional 20,000. A mile on the dirt for the 3-year-olds and up. Scratch in the number 6 Mystic Link. Keith, you have the number 5 on top. Silent Malice here for Rudy Sanchez Salmon and Angel Cruz.
Mystic Link. Any relation to Lancelot Link? You remember that? The Secret Chimp? You don't remember that show, do you?
Nope.
That's
I do not.
going way back for you. I love that show.
I sweat when you start to bring up stuff because I know I can't get the Paul Foucault reference.
Okay, race 7. Severe, obviously, I think the road goes through him, it looks like. He's quick. I think he might be a little bit faster than Shady Money. They kind of put the blinkers on him. They did put the blinkers on him 2 races back, and it kind of got this old guy back. Just a stone-cold runner. 28 for 70. Was kept off the rail last time at Delaware. Turned away an inside challenge from the favorite, 81 Fig. I don't know if he's going to kind of bring that number back. That's closer to a top for him. Well, not you go way back, but I don't know. Shady Money's going to keep him honest, I think, around the turn. Lurking might be Silent Malice, 3rd off the break. If he's ever going to come back to his top form, I think it's going to be today. He loves the mile, loves the one-turn mile, likes Laurel Park. So there you go. A couple excuses, some wider trips. Let's try to save some ground and move up. There's Cruz again. I'm going to need him to have a big day. But if he fires close to his best, he can beat this group.
As Keith Busta goes at 5, 4, 8, 7 there. And now we get to our stakes action here in the All Brandy in race number 8. A mile and 16th on the turf for the girls 3 and up. Scratch the 1, 4, Accept Temptation and Intrepid Daydream. And 9 and 12 here in the All Brandy. You have the number 8 on top, the girl from Ireland. And if just taking a look at this one, obviously I definitely see that. I had a hard time getting these two on one on top of the other.
Yeah, I mean, this will be interesting who ends up. Coconut Cake, it's lined 9 to 5. I think that's right about right. And I think a lot of plays going to come in for Downtown Katie and the girl from Ireland. Grand Motion right now on a roll. I think he's won with 3 of his last 4 turf runners over this course. Data Man in the Bald Eagle Derby last week at a price. But the girl from Ireland, I think, is just going up, up, and up. You look at the flow, there's really no true speed. I think she can kind of be put into the race and put him where Lynch can put her where he wants to. And I think just makes that move from the quarter pole home, or if she's on the lead, kind of turn back any challenges and keep on going. I like the staying power last time after the wide trip of the mile. Extra 16th might be a touch, but I think her form right now, and you look at Motion, another stat for him, 5 for 18, 28%. The last 3 numbers going up on the turf in non-graded stakes. So that works, a $3.22 ROI. Downtown Katy, we've got video, right, of the race. Is it off the layoff May 4th?
first return off into 2023.
Yeah, and you look at the fractions there over this Laurel lawn at a mile and 16th, 24, 450 and change, 15 sluggish. It might be like that today, and maybe J. Rod can kind of get her into position earlier, stay a little bit closer, because she has a tendency to draft a little bit further back. But, man, brings a really big run here, drawing away powerfully to the wire. I like her inside draw. Again, you've got the right kind of rider to kind of sit close enough to strike top of the stretch. Coconut Cake, I think, was third in this race last year. Let's double check. Yep, a close. Yep. Yeah, closing third. Draws outside, was hampered by a wide trip against Better. But class alone, she figures to be tough in here for Keith and Sheldon Russell.
As Keith Uso goes 8-2-11-6, they're in the All Brandy. And now let's talk about the other stakes race that we have here today. Race number 9 in the Fine Stakes, a mile and 16th, also on the turf. But this is for the boys 3 and up. Keith, you have the number 7 on top, Skies Not Falling. And let's just go ahead and take a look right away at Skies Not Falling. A little bit back in May of this year, excuse me.
Yeah, we're going to go back. Let's see. Yeah,
3 starts ago.
Yeah, the May 6th race. Another really good run. A little trouble into the turn. You're going to see this. That's a little tap of the brakes, kind of caught in between horses. That's the 4-horse this particular afternoon. And Wicked Prankster alone on the lead. Wicked Prankster back in here again today, I think might have some pressure. But I tell you, Rosado did a really good job biding the time. He's going to maybe move inside, work out, and just kind of burst here this last 16th of a mile, the short comment ridden out. The longer you can kind of hold this guy up, the better that finish is going to be, because he really likes the mile. He likes his turf course. Mile on the 16th, again, that might be the top distance for him. You know, I think optimal is a mile, but it's going to need that kind of covered up trip to save that run to get it done today.
Well spotted, Keith, as you go with Skies Not Falling as your top selection. Just on the inside, you go with Be Determined for Suzanne Satinius. Gets Charlie Marquez here today. Nice morning line value of 10-1.
Yeah, 10-1 on the line. Obviously, Field Pass, and I'll let you talk about that one. You don't even have the old guy on the board here, but I think Be Determined, another one. He's just holding form. He 5.5, stretch him out, mile on the 16th. It doesn't really matter. He's been close enough against this kind. That gives me hope. And Suzanne Satinius has done a great job with this 6-year-old for Donnie Metzger. I think another one, be able to kind of draft in, sit there, wait, and fire late. Be Determined definitely holds value in here. If he's 8, 10, 12 to 1, I am definitely betting a couple bucks to win, and we'll be using the exacta boxes.
There you go. Keith Fusel, 7-6-3-4. Talk about Field Pass, because I just have an opinion, but I want to hear your take on Field Pass here coming back into Maryland today.
He's just had an incredible career. You know, great stakes winner, great one. I mean, he's been awesome. But the last 6, you know, the numbers are there. You know, just a touch flat against that kind. The last race kind of I thought would be a little bit better. I know it was a salty race, wide early at Saratoga. But, you know, I don't know. He's first-time state-breds. That could just be the answer, and the class could just prevail. But, you know, you're looking at a horse like Skies Not Falling, who recent numbers kind of match up. Field Pass has got to get it back together. I'm rooting for him. I've always had, you know, had a soft spot for the horse. He's been awesome. But I got to look for a little bit better value in this particular race.
And I think you find it with Be Determined, as Keith Fusel goes 7-6-3-4. They're in the Fine Stakes. And then our last race of the day here for Saturday at Laurel Park is a claiming 10,000, 8.5, a mile and 16th on the Durf, going at 3 and up, which have never won 3. Keith, you have the number 5 on top, Superstitious for Mario Saray Jr. gets Georgie Hernandez.
Superstitious. I thought, you know, I'm going to toss the last race in the mud at Delaware. The 2-back try was good enough for me. There's not a whole lot of flow in here. Jorge Hernandez, we know he's going to try. He's going to ride really hard. He does good. I'd like to see him get a few more mounts. Against the grain, July 29th. Back here today. We'll take advantage of a better trip. Maybe he's on fire. We'll try to go early. But I think he can shadow and keep going in the nightcap, again, at an okay price. What do you got? 4 to 1 on the line.
And there we have it. You go also number 2 on the inside. Salty Air, Ferris Allen, Yomar Ortiz, another similar type of situation like your top selection, Keith.
Yep. The inside speed was good on the 29th. You see that short comment, 4 wide at the quarter, kind of, again, against the grain. Stayed on that left lead, didn't want to switch. But a grinding type, anytime you get the inside here at a mile and 16th, it's going to be to your advantage. That's why I also throw Orakovics in. So there you go, 5213.
Well, last stakes day that we had last Sunday, we had some prices that day. Keith, let's get into your value play
All right.
of the day here today. Race number 3 with the number 3 Dynablast for Mike Trombetta and Axel Concepcion.
Yeah, I don't have this one picked on top, but you're going to see a horse maybe that 8, 10, 12 to 1 range with Trombetta. First time Trombetta got to work over the turf. Caught my eye on the racetrack, and there's breeding there on the bottom side to suggest this might be the right move here, transitioning to the 6 furlongs on the grass.
And, of course, your best bet of the day is race number 8, the number 8 in the Girl from Ireland for Grand Motion, Fergal Lynch. You have a lot of great Grand Motion stats just coming at us with all of that info that you touched on earlier.
I just think she's improving. She's getting better and better. I don't think she's reached the top yet. The barn's doing great. She's got the right kind of running style to take advantage of kind of a paceless race. She might separate by the time they turn for home.
And there we have it. Our action here will begin in just about 35 minutes. We're going to take it over to Dave Rodman for some more changes and scratches. So best of luck to everybody at the handicapping tournament. We are happy to have you here.
Yeah. Hey, and anybody want to kind of, send up some crabs, just toss a few up to the press box. We got a crab feast going on today. That'll be good.
And again, we will take it to Dave Rodman from now. But thank you and best of luck out there.
All right. Good luck.